Hi guys. In the today's episode is about agency owners. We are just starting a new series about women marketers because there are quite a lot of women marketers I came across in the last 1.5 year while interacting in niche marketers community and other communities as well. So I thought of we actually thought of having a woman series on women marketers, how about the journey, talking about the journey and all. And today we have Priya Singhi Jain. She has started her journey, like her career in 2004, and later on she started her journey with visual effects and all. Later on, with some interesting twists in the family and all, she has to come back to a small town called Malegaon. So and then later on she has to actually start freelancing because she caught the attention that freelancing is something I could do from a remote place, web design and all. So she started web designing, then started taking up some projects. So from 2005 or 6 itself, she started working there, and then later on, she took up a lot of freelancing projects, and later on actually started an agency called Emerge Digital. Emerge Digital actually works for website development and branding, like mostly social media part, and also they work for SEO and other marketing areas, where they also take up vendors and give them work. So now they're a team of 10 people. Right now they are actually located in Mumbai. So today I'm going to pick her brains on how was the journey, what were the struggles as a woman, as a business owner, as a freelancer. So let us welcome Priya Singhi Jain to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Govardhan, so much for that.
Yeah, I have actually shared a bit of like a trial of what you are actually and also I want you to introduce yourself in just few lines. How you introduce yourself, Priya?
I just started I don't know like how to start with because that is something like it's a long journey, and I started as a person who was doing 9 to 5 job. Then I shifted to freelance because of my struggles which I was going through, and then there was a break, and then I started with the agency and all. So it's a long journey, yeah, but it is a journey which is of passion, and I'm still learning things. Like it's every day I'm learning something new, so that is what's keep me going and all. So yeah, that is something about me. That's it.
That's great. So can you explain about your services which you provide on Emerge Digital?
Yeah, so we work across 3 verticals. We work across websites, branding, and social media marketing. So in websites, again, there are different like it's a big umbrella. So we work on application UI UX. We work on what we say landing pages. We work on WordPress. We work on Webflow, no code websites, and all. So there are so many verticals in the website what we work on. And then we work on branding, visual branding, and all. We work with SEO. We work with social media and all, like that.
Okay, that's awesome. Like, if you have to name any specific industry which you work with a lot or something like that, what is that? What should be that? What would be that?
So it's nothing like a specific industry what we have worked with, but nowadays we are working lot and lot with e-commerce brands and all. So it's like more B2C brands we are working with, which after COVID and also they are really popping up, and we are working right now with a lot of e-commerce too.
So when you talk about e-commerce stores, then you use WooCommerce and all to actually.
We use multiple platforms, like we use Shopify, we use what we say WooCommerce, we use at times Magento as well. We use this OpenCart, like that, and sometimes even custom application.
Okay, depending upon the client's requirements and their volume and
yeah,
all.
Yeah. So it is like customized to whatever the requirement they have.
Okay, awesome. So now, like people see Priya as like a founder of Emerge Digital, which is an actually an agency right now with 10 people. So like many guys who are actually starting an agency, uh, some of them might be glorified about starting an agency. So there are also the downsides of it. So what do you tell to those women or men who are actually starting agencies, and what they should expect in a timeline. Let us say they started like zero months, like 3 months, 6 months, or 6 months, or 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. What on different timelines? What should they be expecting?
See, what they should be expecting is quite difficult to answer because everybody has their own niche. But I can say, like, how I develop the agency and, like what things you can do if you want to grow up, like, faster. That is what I learned from my journey. So that is something that I can share because I never thought about, timelines, and I never had a time specific goals कि इतने time में मुझे ये करना है या इतने time में मुझे ये करना है. It like, if things fall in place, then you can grow like earlier 2 years I didn't grow that much that I have grown in this year, like that. So it's not very time bounded, like you can go from, like 6 months down the line what you will do, or 11 like a year down the line what you can do. But yeah, when you start, obviously, like when you start an agency, you focus on many things, in like, you provide this also, that also. So in long run that doesn't work. So you should always, have a niche where you are working. Like suppose if you are working only on e-commerce, so just develop that as a niche. Then if you're working only on SEO, you can have a niche where you can, define yourself in a way which the customer can understand. Like that, if you're offering everything, so now, like, nowadays nobody is food. So they know, like, if you're 2-3 people, so you can't do so many things together.
Yeah.
So it's better just to concentrate on few things and have a like vendor partners or vendor agencies or something like that, so that you can pick up the projects, you can distribute the projects, and you can get a better output. So that is something, if you give a better output, then you can retain the client, and the client can be your what we say, like,
Long-term customer.
Yeah, long-term customer, and they can give you so many reference. So that really, like, even in India, word of mouth is something which really works very well. And it's like, if your trusted person has told you, like, this is this agency you try, so obviously you will have a, very soft corner for that. So it is something like, inbound marketing is something that really works. So if you have a good customer, like if you have a satisfied customer base, then you don't need to market yourself so much. So that is something like you should always do. You should always provide a good service, and just be, transparent and fair in whatever you do, so that, you are never cheating anybody, and whatever your work ethics are there, you should always stick to that, so that, like people means trust you. Because nowadays wherever we get inquiries, the users or the, clients are very skeptical about so many things. So they want clarity in everything. They are so skeptical about each and everything, and before making a decision whether to go with this agency or not. So they do a lot of due diligence. They do, like, if we give, okay, these are the clients what we have worked with, so they will call the client and they will ask, okay, if this agency has worked for you. So nowadays they go to that much of extent where they are verifying each and every details of you. So never fool your client. Do whatever, like, you just tell whatever you are doing, and obviously provide a good service to them, and yeah, they will be like, you can win them for lifetime.
There are two to three things I can pick up from the conversation you're actually made right now. Like the first 2 years was slow, and the next year was more easier than first 2 years. So generally it has a cascading effect. People don't realize that first 1-2 years it will be very tough when you start an agency or something, anything for that matter. I see. Because initially now you're trying to build something rapport, you pitch to so many people, they will not convert, but later on they may again come back. So there are chances that you need to stick, you need to be patient enough to wait for that right time, but you need to keep going with that effort. That's one thing. Second thing, what Priya was mentioning is about being honest and transparent, because clients are smarter than us, because they're talking to more people right now. And one more thing is, like, many people now, I came across, what they try to do is they will wait for a very big case study to be published for them. They don't want a small case study. They want to give a small case study. I asked them many times, but clients also, they will think when the case study, when you have a bigger case study, they will be afraid of actually approaching you, because when you say I worked with Flipkart, immediately what the client will think, अरे यार ये तो फ्लिपकार्ट के साथ काम कर रहा है, अब मेरा बजट में कैसा आएगा? So if you are not working with Flipkart, don't ever say I'm working with Flipkart. That is actually going to work against you. And
Yeah, definitely.
never be afraid of showing a small case study, because right now you are having that kind of clients and you're able to show success. And one more good thing is, especially for performance marketers and others now, if you're able to bring results in 20,000 rupees budget per month, that is something great, because many big companies achieve results at a bigger budgets, but you're able to do it that way. So I think these three things can be takeaways from Priya's discussion. Just
Yeah.
and so going to the next point. So Priya, like so as a woman, you have been actually balancing it out very well, because it's not so easy when you lost your father. And that time, exactly what was going through your mind when you lost your father and you have to come back to your hometown? So,
Yeah, so it was like, like a very hard thing, even if I, recollect things right now, now also. So it is little more emotional than that. So it was, everything was shattered. Like, you were not knowing what exactly you want to do further. And if, things were very good when you were, at your job and, performing well, and, everybody was really, happy with what you were doing. And all of a sudden, if you have to leave everything, and if you have to sit at home and see, like, what can be the way forward, and how you can like, how you can support your family and all. So it was very, very difficult. But yeah, like, my father had a good business already set. And then like, my brother did a like, my brother is younger than me, but yeah, he was little more involved with my father when, like, he was alive. So for him it was little more easy to catch, because my father was in stock market. So obviously I was not something, like, I'm not good at numbers. So a number was never, like,
you're
something I wanted to do. So, like, my brother take a charge, that, he will look after whatever the father, like, my father was doing earlier. And then again I started with my own thing, and I just thought, okay, in whatever contribution I can do from my small thing, like whatever I know. So I started with that.
okay. Okay. So from there you started working there, and how did you means from there how did you get into digital marketing? Like, because it
Yeah,
was,
so I started with website, and I think website is something where, you need to do copy, you need to do creatives, you need to see, you need to put yourself in user shoes and see, how the user will see the website, and how you can make this website on the first page. So SEO was the first thing where what I learned in digital marketing, because that was related from SEO. I understood, like, now it's not so easy to rank to as like, do the organic rankings, and also then paid ads. What was something that I came across. And like, we were always having like a good team of designers, and also we did social media also. Like, it was like, the client demanded, I want social media, so I did social media. If the client demanded, like, we want paid ads also to be run, so it was like that. And like, for me, like, I have worked as a white label partner with a lot of agencies. So if they used to tell us, to do this part for them, so we were open for that. So it was like, I was always an opportunist. I never told, like, I have only this much to offer. So if they, if they would have come to me and they would have told, like, Priya, if you can just help us with that, so I would have, gone that extra step, and I would have helped them. So it was always like that. So I think that only made me to, learn so many different things together. If I would have only stick to design, I would have never, grown to that level where, I would have like, come out from that design, and I would have done the marketing, I would have done the copywriting or any other stuff like that. So I think we should, like, for me at least, it has worked. Like, I have always been an opportunist, and I try to do things which are new to me, and I try to explore. I like to, challenge myself for that. And this is something which is like something which I'm doing from so many years. So it's nice to learn new things and try that.
maybe I think people should also like, when before you actually coming out with your own niche, initially what happens is now you'll not get the work which you exactly deserve or desire. You need to be taking up some work, because you need to have the ball rolling, you need to have the money coming in. So initially, definitely people should try to take whatever comes in, but try to consciously make an attempt to go towards one kind of a work or one kind of a nature.
Yeah, definitely.
That is something a takeaway again from because and one more thing what Priya told will be very useful for other agencies and freelancers, because like white labeling, it works very well. People are still, I'm seeing many guys in niche marketers community as well. I keep telling them, why don't you tie up with agencies, talk to others, build relations, because many agencies are there. Not everyone can do everything. If you are able to build good relationship and trust, someone will offer you good work. Why agencies do not actually give others work, other marketers work, is because of lack of trust. If you're able to build some trust now, so that they can trust you, then definitely they will offer you some work. And as freelancers, you can always approach agency owners and tell about yourself, and you can ask for some work. And if they like one of your works or one project, they will keep coming back to you. That is for sure. It's happening also. In our community also, it's happening. So this is one more takeaway from this specific talk we had on that. So after all this, when you got into means founding an agency, that scaling up part or the team building, like what was the challenging part when initially you were a freelancer? Then you started.
I think everything was challenging, even, to retain employees and, to retain the resources, finding resources, everything, like it's a challenge. And earlier, even, getting projects and, finishing projects on time, everything was a challenge like that. So now also that challenge remains the same. So there is no difference in the earlier one. But yeah, now we have set process for everything. So we know where to go if we are having a challenge, what to do next. So earlier that was not that clarity was not there. Like suppose if the employee is leaving, so what to do next? So that was like, very scary thing. So now it's not like that. So we have a set process, we have everything, like we are also learning each and every day how to manage the agency more efficiently, like that. So touchwood, now it's like very very process oriented for everything, like from onboarding to, what kind of mails we need to send. Everything is now very much in, like everything is having its own buckets, and people are just picking from that. So it's so easy nowadays to do that job, which earlier used to take so much of time. So I believe, like any agency owner, if they set process for each and everything, and if they make everything enough, like a process for each and every small thing also, like whatever the small work is there, or small communication is there, whatever is there, if you make process out of it, so that anybody who is working on that, not you, anybody who is joining new, or, if somebody is leaving also, then it will not matter to you.
Okay.
So setting process for each and everything is really important when you consider the agency scenario.
Yeah, it will come slowly, but yeah, definitely people don't work on or put the efforts to have a process, because they're generally doing a lot of firefighting. Agencies call it firefighting because we run here and there. अरे ये प्रोजेक्ट जल्दी है, इसको करो, इसके बाद इधर जाओ टाइप का एजेंसीज में जनरली वी सी दिस. So like you mentioned, the processes part is really really important. We even had a workshop about means converting from freelancer to agency recently, some time ago. Some of the agencies and freelancers.
And I think that is a difference between, agency, when you select an agency, and when you select a freelancer for a job. Like if the SOPs are there in place, so there is very less struggle even for the client to know, what will happen next. So that is something, like every agency owner should, like obviously they are doing. And if the freelancers also, following the SOPs, and they are working on the SOPs for their own, things, what they are doing, so that can take them to places.
It's more predictable for everyone actually. Yeah. So what is that one tip you can give, especially for hiring? Because how do you pick the right candidates, or right now, what are the lessons you learned? Anything you want to share to other agency owners?
See, like hiring is something, which really a pain. So what now I do, like obviously, like, we do first the screening of people, and from the basic screening of resume and profiles, what we do, then we tell them for a small screen test or a design sprint. Like if we are hiring a designer, so we'll do a design sprint with them. We will give a mock work to them and see what kind of output they get, if it's a design related role. And if we are little satisfactory, then, we appoint them, and like that. And if it's a developer, then obviously, like, we will go for what we say, like because not every developer is like, there are various different technologies. So what we give a 15 days time, and we give a small task to them to learn this technology or this thing, and just come back to us. And once they, like after 15 days and all, if they are like, we know like how serious also they are, regarding the job and all. And if they like, we take a small test after that, and yeah, like a small interview on Google form, and just understand, like, if they are a right suitable and right match for us. So there is some kind of test or some kind of sprint that I think we should take before hiring. Otherwise, it becomes a lot of difficult things later on.
Yeah. So, means add to that question is like, means where do you pick these candidates from? Like from any specific platform or?
It's various platforms. So like, it's LinkedIn. It's like, like, even we have Work India, we have Naukri, like subscriptions and all. So
Okay.
we take from multi channels. It's nothing specific like that.
Okay. Okay. So you try to have different approaches. Okay, that's great. So yeah, that's something like. So right now, like if you want to tell someone, like you also told me about when we're having discussion about having a break of like 5 years for the career to take care of the family, maybe. And yeah, sometimes it may be required because of the kind of nourishment the child needs or the family when we're getting into family life and all. So how do you define it, and what kind of advice do you give to women who are actually who will be in these phases and different ways? So what is that?
I think that phase has to come to every each one of us, like, who are working, like, who wants to work and who wants to do the family as well. So that phase will come, and that how the phase is will come. It will go the same way. So it will not stop your life. It will be just a phase that will just pass on like any other phase, what comes in life. So I think you should just take it in a very positive note. Like, okay, now I should, like, it's a time for break. Just take a break. Just do whatever your responsibilities are there. Just fulfill that, and you can just again come back to work.
But
So
wasn't it so tough for you to, because see, when we are longing for something, when we love something like work or like whatever passionate, because see, building something like freelancing or agency requires a lot of passion, or else we not be able to do it. So you need to have a break. So meanwhile, were you doing something or totally you were cut off totally for that period?
not cut off totally, but yeah, like, you can say, like, you can't like, you can't be what we say, like in Hindi, what we say, like, you can't you can't do savari on two boats like that. So it's not possible to mingle two things together, and you will just get dissatisfied. So I think, yeah, it was for 5 years I was almost away from all these things.
Your way of doing things that way, like focus on one specific thing, maybe.
But yeah, you have to do that. You can't because that's the need of hour at that point of time. So you need to be sensible enough to understand what is important at that point of time. And like I just said, it's a phase. So it is a phase. How it has came, it will go that way only. So
Yeah,
that's it.
absolutely right. Kids need that attention and all.
Yeah. So you can't ignore that part.
Definitely, definitely, yeah. So you that sensibility should be there, and yeah, for all the women out there, this is a message from Priya, like how she could take it and all, and ultimately she is back very strong and going very strong with Emerge Digital. So anything else you want to share to especially to women entrepreneurs or women marketers out there? What is that you want to say to them? Any specific?
See, I see a lot of women, but they just they are like mixed up in families and careers and all. So I think, yeah, we should balance it out in some way. Like keep women are not so good at balancing out things, and they leave things easily. So you should, I think you should be little more strong in that, and you should fight for what you love, and whatever you want to continue with. So that is something I would like to say. Don't give up so easily. Give some time, things will fall in place. Because there are so many struggles which women, specifically women, face when they want to move forward in their career like that.
Yeah.
So it's very, they are a little more emotional. So they get driven by emotions very soon. So just be strong. Things will fall, and just believe in your destiny. If like that.
So it was a nice chat, Priya, with you. Like it is because of the journey of you taking up the things in the right way. Like you shared so many lessons today in today's total episode, and I hope you will be a good inspiration for all the women marketers and women entrepreneurs out there, because it's challenging out there. But again, you need to do things. You need to work on, because no one becomes successful overnight. I came across a quote somewhere. uh, I have become a success overnight because I have spent so many sleepless nights. So some of the successful guys tell that thing, because it is success doesn't come overnight. We need to fight, and you are quite an example of doing it. And
So my funda is never think about success only. Just keep on going, keep on growing, and I think everything will fall in place. So you can't define success. Like for me earlier, the success was, like earlier my dream was just to have, like be a agency owner, and I will have so many people who will work for me. So now even that dream is satisfied. Then too, I am looking for something more. So it's like even though it is success, but still I feel like I'm not that much successful. So I don't think so that anybody can define success in that way. Like you always keep on growing for that. And so that is what, like, you don't think about success, just do right things, just do what you love, and I think everything will fall in place.
yeah, right. I agree with you absolutely, because success can't be defined. It is always different
Yeah, at
people.
different point of time as well. Like for you at some point of time the success will be different. Then once you had that, then again you will feel okay, like this I need to do something else. So then again you can't define it that way. Like it differs from point to point.
Yeah, for me, building a successful community can be very important, but for someone, they may think it's something very boring job. So it always changes from person to person,
Yeah, it's subjective.
subjective, and yeah, we need to keep doing things we love, and to be able to come to that position, also we need to have a lot of self introspection, and
Yeah,
don't
definitely.
do things. When you don't do anything now, you'll never know where are you good at, what you can do better. That's the reason we need to make our hands dirty. You need to try things. If you don't try now, you can't come to a conclusion. What is that you fit in? Where are your strengths? What you love to do? So that's something is a takeaway today. Yes, Priya, then that's great. Great to have
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Thank you very much. And
Yeah, thank you.
this is the first episode for the women marketers.
Yeah, so I'm lucky in that case.
Definitely, definitely. It's really, really happy to do this. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Good day. Bye.
Good day.